Hey everyone, it's Kim from Raven Kim Woodwinds, and today we're going to do something a bit different. I was cleaning out my Ocarina drawer and I figured it would be nice to create a video of the Ocarina collection that I have so far. In the many years I've been a musician, in the many years that I've been on YouTube, I've amassed quite a collection of ocarinas. Some of these are gifts from friends, some of them are samples from makers, some of them I luckily found at surplus stores, and some of them I bought with my own money. So let's keep things casual, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, so here we go. Up front are my Kevin Wright Ocarinas. This one's a bass C. This one's an alto B flat with Italian fingering. This is an extended range alto F. This is a soprano F. This is an alto D. This is a really special 10-hole B flat. This was made from clay that Kevin harvested and processed all by himself. This one is a soprano G 10-hole. This one was the very first ocarina I got from Kevin, which was sort of the prototype of the current Rubin. The difference is in the thumb hole spacing. And this one has an extra sub-hole and a provision for the lanyard. Over here are ocarinas from Rotter, so this one's a really high-pitched F1. That's in the Sopranino range. This one's a 7-hole Alto C, a special one with a raku-fired finish. These two over here are from Oberon Ocarinas. So this one's a soprano B flat, this one's a soprano C. Over here are some of my wooden ocarinas. These three are from Charlie Hind. This one's an alto C in cherry, and these two are in African sapil or walnut, either of those. An alto D and a soprano C. Over here are my mountain ocarinas. This one's a C in hardwood, and this one's a G in warmstone. Here are more mountain ocarinas, the polycarbonate ones also in C and G. And this is the modern instrument that they are making right now, the double chamber coda. Here are more of my pendant ocarinas. So this one's the baby dragon tooth from Songbird Ocarinas. That's in soprano G. This one's a vintage alto C that they don't make anymore. It's a predecessor of their current pendant models. This one's my smallest ocarina so far, made by Julien Alcorn. It's a sopranissimo range, and it's tuned to about the key of F. Really high F. This one's a Susato pendant. Really underrated, this one. I really like this one. And this one is a Tenrai ocarina. I love the finish on this one, and it's really cool because you get an extended range from the short fipple, where you can bend the notes down. Over here are more of my plastic ocarinas. This one's a Noble Junior Alto C. So very similar to the Knight by Noble, but it takes less breath and has a sweeter tone. This one's a plastic soprano C from Noble. This one is made by Knight, a soprano C made by Knight. This one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, the Osawa Soprano. Here's a vintage one I got from a surplus store called the Tonette. So these were made around World War II. And here's an unknown plastic ocarina from Japan, also from a surplus store. Over here are my vintage Japanese ocarinas. These are really cool because I got these from a bunch of surplus stores and auctions here in the Philippines. Some of them were pointed to me by my friends. These ones are sonetos from Akita. These ones are my Akita Primas. I have 3 of them. This one I believe is the oldest, which is about 60 to 70 years old. This one's a unique one with an interesting underglaze. And this one has a nice ornate decoration on the mouthpiece. Here is a vintage Knight, also from Japan, before they started making those banana-shaped ocarinas they do now. And here's an interesting one. We're not quite sure, but we believe it's made by the father or maybe the mentor of the current maker of Cantare Ocarinas. This one's in soprano G and it just plays amazingly well. Over here are my double chamber harmony ocarinas. This one is made by Kinfolk Ceramics and it plays in minor pentatonic in the key of A flat. This one is made by Dude Key Music out of Ukraine. Also in the minor pentatonic, but this one's in low E minor. These ones are some unique ocarinas out of Southeast Asia. This one's made out of bamboo, and this one is made out of coconut. This one's tuned in minor pentatonic like a Native American flute, and this one is tuned like a diatonic inline ocarina. Here are some interesting sculptural ocarinas. This one was given to me by one of my professors in archaeology, Dr. Vic Paz. I believe it comes from the Olmec Museum, and it's a recreation of one of the museum pieces on display. These ones, I'm not so sure about. I also got these through surplus stores. This one plays beautifully. It's in the shape of a bird and plays in Alto C. This one's also in Alto C. That's a cute one. This one I'm not so sure. I got this along with the dolphin, and it's quite a mystery to me. It roughly plays in the pentatonic scale. It's fun for improvising. These are some Peruvian Ocarinas. This one's really fun because they have the Nazca lines engraved on them, and this is one of the more common Peruvian Ocarinas. This one isn't an ocarina, but it's also made by Kevin Wright. It's actually a flute made out of ceramic and glazed very beautifully. Over here are more of my bass ocarinas. So this one's from Noble. It's a plastic 12-hole bass C. This one's also a plastic bass ocarina from Zin, although they do sell it as the tenor C. This one's one of my favorites. It's a Contrabass A made by Kevin Wright. Really nice mellow tone. Here are my multi-chamber ocarinas, both plastic. So this one is a 3-chamber one from Paragon, and this is another 3-chamber one from Chong Ocarinas out of Korea. This one's a mystery to me. I'm not sure who made this. I got it from Lazada and it plays really well. It's an Alto F. Here's another very special ocarina from Kevin Wright. I forgot to include it in the pile because I was playing it while recording the video. This one's a Soprano C. It's a 9-hole ocarina. Although it has a smaller range, it just has the most amazing soprano voice. I also forgot to include this big boy here. It's a Langley Contrabass F. Very similar to the same one that David Eric Ramos has. The one that he affectionately calls Mr. Turtleberg. And that's it for my gigantic collection of ocarinas. I figured I'd also show where I display my ocarinas. Now, as much as I would want to display them, I have many cats, so they're always a falling hazard. So I keep them in this drawer over here, roughly arranged by maker and by ocarina type, or by how often I use the ocarina. So it's a nice secure way to protect my ocarinas from cats and from earthquakes.